Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to crack open something you see all the time, a candlestick. We're talking about footprint charts. Think of it like an X-ray for the market, showing the raw, unfiltered battle between buyers and sellers. Yeah, it looks complicated, I get it, but stick with me, and you'll learn how to read the incredible story it has to tell.
All right, so on the left, you've got the classic candlestick chart. We all know this. It gives you the big picture, the open, high, low, and close. But what if we could put that one single candle under a microscope? Well, that's exactly what the footprint chart on the right does. It breaks down every single transaction that formed that shape.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? What is actually hiding inside that candle? We're about to pull back the curtain on the moment-by-moment fight between buyers and sellers, and that's a story a regular candlestick just can't tell you. Think of it like this. A normal candlestick, that's just the final score of the game. It tells you who won, maybe, but it tells you nothing about how the game was played. A footprint chart is the full game replay. It shows you every single move that led to that final score.
And this right here, this is the absolute key. A candlestick tells you what happened. The price moved up or down. But a footprint chart shows you why it happened. It reveals the actual force, the volume from aggressive buyers and sellers that pushed the price. We're going from a simple summary to the real substance underneath.
Okay, so to make any sense of all those numbers, we need to get one core concept down first. At its heart, the market is just a massive, continuous auction between two very different types of players.
So let's meet our players. You've got your aggressive traders and your passive traders. The aggressive ones, they're impatient. They use market orders because they want in right now at whatever the current price is. Passive traders, though, they're patient. They use limit orders, basically saying, hey, the price has to come to me. And believe me, understanding this one distinction is everything.
And here's the dance they do, how a trade actually happens. Step 1, the passive trader puts their limit order out there, adding liquidity to the market. Step 2, an aggressive trader comes along, hits a market order, and just eats that liquidity to complete their trade. And here's the crucial part. The footprint chart is specifically built to show us the volume and impact of those aggressive traders. Okay, so we know the players, we know the rules of this auction. Now let's finally learn how to actually read the scoreboard, the footprint chart itself. Now this is where the magic really starts. At any single price level, the footprint splits the action in two. On the left, you've got the bid. That's the volume from aggressive sellers. On the right, the ask. That's the volume from aggressive buyers. So right here, at this one price, we can see 479 contracts were aggressively sold, while almost double that, 975, were aggressively bought.
So how can we tell who won that little battle at a glance? We use a metric called delta. And it's really just simple subtraction. You take the buyer volume on the ask and subtract the seller volume on the bid. This one number instantly tells you who was being more forceful at that price. Looking at our example again, we take the 975 aggressive buy orders and subtract the 479 aggressive sell orders. The result? A positive delta of 496. This positive number tells us, loud and clear, that aggressive buyers were in control at this price. If the number was negative, it would mean aggressive sellers were running the show. Simple as that.
All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Now that we can read the numbers, we can start to see the stories. These are the key patterns that experienced traders look for, the clues that reveal what's really happening behind a simple price move.
The first story is a concept called absorption. And that phrase you see there, a lot of effort but no reward, well, it describes it perfectly. It's a classic case of seeing a ton of action that doesn't produce the result you'd expect.
So imagine this. Sellers are just hammering the market, creating this huge negative delta. You'd expect the price to fall off a cliff, but it doesn't budge. It just sits there. That is absorption. It's a massive clue that a large, passive buyer is quietly sitting there soaking up every single sell order that's thrown at them. It is a powerful sign of hidden strength.
Our next story is about what happens at the very edges of the market, the highs or the lows. It's called the unfinished auction.
And when you see this pattern, it's a hint that the market might have some unfinished business it needs to come back to.
You can spot this one visually. Look at the example on the left. At the very high, you see a 0. That means the buyer's auction is finished. They ran out of sellers to trade against. But on the right, there are still buyers and sellers trading at the high. The auction is unfinished, and the theory is that the market often revisits these unfinished prices to find a true resolution.
This all brings us to our final and maybe most important point. Now that we have this powerful new tool in our hands, how should we actually use it?
Now, it is so tempting to see all this detail and think you found a crystal ball, the holy grail of trading. But let's be really clear, these are powerful tools for analysis, not for prediction. They're like a master craftsman's chisel. Their value comes entirely from the skill of the person using them.
Their real power is in revealing these hidden dynamics, the imbalances, the absorption, the exhaustion we've talked about. But this information isn't meant to be used in a vacuum. The magic happens when you combine these clues with the bigger picture, like seeing absorption happen right at a major support level. Context is everything.
By giving you a direct view of the real auction, footprint charts empower you to ask much better questions and find more informed answers. It's a skill that moves you from just seeing what price did to truly understanding why it did it. So the only question left is, now that you can read the story inside the candle, what will it tell you?